Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Yeah, this is the remix edition. So, hey, everybody who's watching. If you're watching, somebody's watching. We know you out there. Come on in the room. Like we've been hearing the spirituals all day. Come on in the room. Hey, look. Hey everybody, we are so excited tonight. We had a guest lined up. Unfortunately, just a few minutes ago, we just got a message that he's not going to be able to join us, which we certainly know how things happen. Life happens. So, hey Jody, how you doing? Hey Sister Joe. So we had to do what my sister just did. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be the remix, but nonetheless, it's the remix edition. So you know how it is. We good with that. So what we want you to do is make sure you like, follow, and share. Go ahead and share this conversation. Invite your friends to join. Start a watch party. Let's get these viewerships up because you know what we are going to talk about. See, this is the thing about us. We have conversations, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I didn't even say, hey, sister, how you doing?
You didn't. How am I doing? Okay. So, my sister's not allowing me to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it just for an incy little second. So, she has me starting this Lovecraft Country. I wasn't going to watch. Now I'm watching, and I feel like I'm going to be mad forever now. So that's how I'm doing.
Oh my gosh, yes. So yes, Jody. Oh, thank you so much.
Jody, you're the sweetest.
Mwah. So we're doing well. We're gonna hang in there. And so, like she said, we remixed. And so as we were preparing behind the scenes, getting ready to go live with our guests, then we see the New York Times has done it again.
Well, I can't even show y'all all of this.
Like, y'all see all these papers?
And that's front and back.
This is printed on two sides. I'm glad I have a subscription to the New York Times. Y'all see all of this? So they have finally done this. There is 3 people on this byline.
Mm-hmm.
The story about, honey, the taxes is in the Lovecraft Country. see, yes, listen, yes, I'm glad you're part of the Lovecraft world. Yes, I'm getting her there, Rosalind. I'm explaining as we step
She's
of the way.
getting me there, Rosalind. However, I would like to understand how between Watchmen and the Lovecraft Country, there are so many zombies and monsters that occur outside of just all the races that are also existing. Because I get the races that are the monsters, but like all the other monsters and wizards and folks, time machines, it's a lot.
It definitely is a lot, but we're going to do a whole episode on that when the time comes. She's got to catch up before we get there. So we're going to do a whole episode on that. But tonight we want to talk about the taxes.
I mean,
this is going to be one topic, but
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Even though I really was looking forward to us having the conversation with our guests and, yes, things happen. I would like to encourage us that when things happen, if we could just let people know a little sooner, that would be great. But unfortunately, Donald John is always doing something foolish. So we can always go to Hot Topics because he's always providing some level of foolery. And let me tell you something. Just when y'all thought this was about the platinum plan, right? He done came out with the platinum plan. Baby, he can't afford to give you nothing.
He can't afford to give you a cubic zirconian plan. Okay? Where is the cubic zirconian plan? Okay? Oh, listen. Yes. Oh. She said they're easier to identify. She's talking about the monsters.
But I'm saying, I know the racist monsters, but I'm trying to understand.
No, she's saying the other monsters are easier to identify.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Y'all better catch that. Y'all better catch that. Yes, we had to kill some trees because there's so much things we got to highlight, and I can't go back and forth.
Yeah, I think we thought it was going to be 5 pages. Not 27.
Well, actually, it's 27 printed, but it was
yeah, it's like
it's like 49 page long thing 40, here about these taxes. 40, 54, listen, I don't even know if this link is gonna go right, but it's in the chat for y'all to take a look at, and y'all go ahead and get down in there. Okay, let's talk about Method Man on Power Law. Listen, we not there yet. Okay, Lena, we are not there yet to talk about Method Man on Power.
So we're gonna have a whole, because Lena, because of you, I'm gonna continue to try to give Tariq's behind a chance and opportunity. Because that little boy drives me nuts. He drives me nuts, and I don't understand how you move around Manhattan so quickly between.
Because I've been to Manhattan, and like when they said walk a Manhattan mile.
Yeah,
it's literally, we know he fine, okay? he done aged like wine, girl. He done got better with time. That's what we all striving for. Hey, we all trying to dip and do. We all trying to do a little Method Man, dip and do. Listen, y'all know this is the thing. That little money, boy, I tell you, just get that good little spa treatment.
I bet Method Man pays more than $750 in taxes.
Boo. Boo.
I pay more than $750 in taxes. I have a real issue. Yes, he does. He does.
Donald J. Trump paid $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency. In his first year in the White House, which would be 2018 or 2017, 2018. After the first full year,
I guess.
He paid another $750 in tax. If you pay more than $700,
read this part first.
That's income. Okay. He paid no income taxes at all in 10 of the previous 15 years, largely because he reported losing much more money than he made. Now, let's just stop with this part because we got some more parts we got to pull out. But let's stop with this part. How about that? I paid more than $750 when I worked as a 16-year-old. How about that? Good tax attorney and CPO. This is more than good tax attorney and CPO. This is thievery. Yes. This is straight thievery. My, for sure. I had an issue as well with that. I owed IRS for 2019 and didn't have a job this year. How about that? All things are possible through Christ, Lena Morris. But he don't listen. All things are possible.
He don't know Christ for himself. This is just thievery.
This is straight, because here's the thing. Remember, they've been being audited, right? It's supposed to be audited. That's number one. Number two, they've always been extending this out over and over and over again, so that, just how you keep it hidden. But let that be you or me.
Or Ronald Isley.
Or Ronald Isley.
Or Wesley Snipes.
Or Wesley Snipes.
And what do we all have in common? Okay.
All right, that's one. Okay, keep going.
Well, there was this part that I just had to get to.
Let's talk about.
Yeah. It was this part. Yes, here it is.
Okay, come on.
So I got to read a lot of this, so just bear with me. The reason this is important to me, because this morning, because this is how God works. This morning, I went into the living room with my family, and I said, what bothers me the most is that he didn't even really want to run for president. And my sister was like, no, he did, because he needed the money. And now he's made millions of dollars off of being president.
Oh no, actually the most recent report is he's probably made $1 billion in his time as president because of how he has manipulated the government in terms of building that hotel and then having all of his events at that hotel and then paying it through taxpayers, through the government, that then in turn becomes profit for the hotel.
And I said
the catering and all of those, the trips to his properties then becomes a revenue source for his properties. Now that, Lena, is not how people are. Like, yes, you can have a lot of losses. You can write off your losses. We know that. But it's the profitability that you're making and that you're hiding, because then none of that is considered income because of the methodology in which it's being done. That is straight. It's against the emoluments clause at the very least. But at the very worst, it's just thievery. But I had a random thought and rumination the other day, and you read it. We talked about it earlier. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right, just, or fair. Or because rightness, justice, fairness are moral and ethical questions. Legal is a whole nother system.
Right.
So, and that is what girl, I know folks. She keep telling me she personally know people who've done this. I know folks.
We're not denying it. They too may be thieves. But what I'm saying is, when I said that and she said he's making this money off of it, and I was like, yeah, that's my point. Like, how do people not know that this was a marketing campaign? Like, it wasn't about being president of the United States. It was a marketing campaign. And so she's like, well, you work in marketing. You know the power of marketing. And I'm like, I do, but I'm selling an actual product. But I mean, sure, he's a product, I guess. But then the New York Times now comes out with this report. And it says, ultimately, Mr. Trump has been more successful playing a business mogul than being one in real life. The Apprentice, along with the licensing and endorsement deals that flowed from his expanding celebrity, brought Mr. Trump a total of $427.4 million, the Times' analysis of the records found. He invested much of that in a collection of businesses, mostly golf courses, that in the years since have steadily devoured cash, much as the money he secretly received from his father financed a spree of quixotic overspending that led to his collapse in the early 1990s.
Now, if y'all don't know what quixotic is, that is not a drink. It is not hypnotic. Quixotic is a reference to Don Quixote. And if you didn't read Don Quixote when you was in school and don't know about chasing windmills, that's a whole nother conversation.
So, indeed, his financial condition when he announced his run for president in 2015 lends some credence to the notion that his long shot campaign was at least in part a gambit to reanimate the marketability of his name.
Period.
And if by some stretch of the imagination there's someone who is a Trump supporter who is watching this, like, why do you want to have why? It's a marketing campaign. It is not about being president. It is not about policy. It ain't even about putting these conservative judges in federal judgeships or Miss Amy, whatever she is from down the road, putting her in the Supreme Court. It is about Donald Trump making money for Donald Trump. Y'all know y'all not gonna get none of it, right? Like,
but it is for those reasons too. And it's for those reasons. That's why when you keep looking at the news and you're like, well, okay, I mean, I understand the level of hypocrisy that goes along with politics, but these people are really like taking it to the nth degree. That's why you see all these Republicans in line, because just as Putin was looking for the perfect stooge, they also have the perfect stooge. That's why they have over 200 appointments on the federal courts, more appointments on the federal bench. People who are young, people don't even, who have not even practiced trial law in many cases. So many of the people they nominated were even rejected because they didn't even meet the basic qualifications.
Well, he doesn't meet the basic.
We know that. I mean, you got to read a book.
I'm still saying, I guess because as we've been home and driving around, I've seen my.
Well, you done told the people where we at.
I think the wood paneling gave it away. Okay, as we've been in a secret location.
She said a barn. I think we could have been in a barn, but she gonna tell people where we at.
It is a barn somewhere.
It's a home that was built in the 70s. It is what it is. Y'all know y'all mamas had paneling on the wall too. If your mama had paneling on the wall, y'all put a shout out in the comments. I know somebody had paneling on their walls. Go ahead.
Wherever we are.
Wherever we are in the barn.
In the barn. When we
left. There's a barn door behind her.
When we've left the barn, I've seen a lot of Trump pen signs. And to those folks, I just genuinely don't understand. It's a campaign. You fell for the marketing campaign. It's not even a.
Yeah, the paneling always gives away. And yes, Denise Toops, we're riding around your town and your people. First of all, let's talk about this. Can we talk about this? Oh, let's see. Still got it. We still got it. Yes, of course. Oh, yeah, all do. Yes. Everybody knows about the paneling. You see? Yes, still has paneling. Yes, yay. We are not alone. Okay, so all of that, put that to the side. So as we drive around, this is the other thing that gets me. Because see, Florida, y'all going to clearly they went to phase 3 here a few days ago. Because Friday, let's just go take a ride so we could go find a snack. Y'all know we still been doing the veganish thing. So we were trying to find a little healthy snack or something.
We've had some falling off since
it wasn't falling off. It's
choices. We made choices.
I said I was coming home and I was gonna have some seafood, and my mama made me a seafood feast. That's right. She fried me catfish, she fried me shrimp, she fried me French fries and sweet potato fries, and we had the buns. We made homemade po' boys. She also made crab cakes. I told my mama I was gonna have some seafood, and she was like, my baby gonna want some seafood, I'm gonna fix my baby some seafood. And we went all out. That was a choice. I said veganish, just like blackish. Veganish. And that's what I've been doing. Yes, I made my own po' boy. But let me go. Okay. All right. So as we drove around Friday, I was like, what the hell going over here with the stadium lights on? Why are all these people out at all these restaurants? Why are all these lines, all these fast food restaurants? Oh, I forgot. They went to phase 3. And then I hear Florida going to phase 3 while reducing the amount of testing. People, there is still a pandemic going on. We do not have a cure. We do not know the long-term health effects of those who get it. Yes, most people recover, but we do not know the long-term implications of their continued difficulty breathing, of the scarring of the lungs, of the blood clotting issues, of the heart damage. There have been college athletes who have died of heart failure from having COVID. So we don't even know all of that, but y'all want to go to a bar or play a football game? There's a difference between needs and wants. And we clearly don't know the difference. But let's see what else we got. We got a lot of comments coming in. Let's see. Yes. Most of them hanging their hats on his stance on abortion.
So let me just talk about
it. Y'all know how many abortions he paid for?
I've been waiting for somebody to just come out while we coming out. That's the only thing that I think might make some people be like, well, wait a minute.
They wouldn't know because it would be the woman's fault.
Oh, yeah.
That's how this thing works, child, please.
Yeah.
Your lips are popping. Okay, whatever. Yes, I had a po' boy. Someone says, "Oh, looks delicious." Let's see what else. Bring me some. I'll have to yes to the seafood fat. Yes, yes, yes. I had it all. Let's see. Okay. Look. Wait, what you said? My husband went to get takeout Friday to our neighborhood spot, standing room only. Hot mess. Woo, okay, yes, we got a pandemic going on. Yes, they Denise, why are they crazy here? Oh, anyway, Jesus.
But here's the thing, Denise, they're not crazy here. They are crazy everywhere. Everyone is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm crazy too, because I took my friend out to eat as well for her birthday. I do wear my mask though, and they were all looking at me. It could have been the "I love Black people" shirt also, but they were definitely like, "Why is she still wearing a mask?" I wanted to.
So let's talk about this abortion thing.
Yeah,
anti-abortion. Now, let's be very clear about this. None of that has anything to do with abortion, because if you don't want to have an abortion, don't have an abortion. Like, let's be real clear what it's about.
Well, the flip of that also, if you want to have an abortion, you're going to have an abortion.
Well, if you want to have an abortion, they're going to have an abortion. But again, once again, I don't see anybody forcing vasectomies on nobody.
Been my solution for years.
I mean,
13, snip. Go ahead, wild out, and then once you get married, settled, and know that this is and not necessarily the first wife, because you might change your mind. But when you're like, this is the one that I ain't leaving, then reverse that mug and
then go on, whatever. But this is all about, again, reinforcement of a patriarchal system. This is reinforcement of keeping a woman in her place. This has nothing to do with healthcare, nothing to do with the welfare, the well-being of a woman in any way, shape, or form. It's really just, it's about a form of control. But even when they first argued Roe v. Wade, back in the day, it was about this case, but really it was based on a right to privacy. It was based on a woman's right to make a private choice between her and her physician. And that's where the argument was. They don't want us women, Black women, gay people, they don't want us to have no choices. And that's the part that is just like, live your life. And let me live mine, and as long as I'm not causing you any harm, don't mean you shouldn't cause me no harm. And that, at the end of the day, that's what all of this is about. And so, we need a stooge, right? Because we got the perfect stooge. We got the orange Messiah to come on in and be the perfect distraction.
Do you think that he realizes that he's a stooge? Like,
he only cares about this
that's
money.
What I'm saying. Do you think he realizes and he's like, I'll be the stooge as long as I make some money? Or is he like so dumb that he really thinks that like people,
he's that dumb?
Okay,
because remember, if you've never, and we talked about this in 2016. I talked about it in 2016. If you didn't watch the 30 for 30 on the USFL, go watch the 30 for 30 on the USFL and see how this person, and that's why he's not an NFL owner to this day, because those men were like, hell no, the way you destroyed this, and he settled. And they gave him his check, because of course it was like, well, here, here's the check after you've destroyed this whole league. Now that's where he became friends with Herschel Walker back in USFL, because Herschel Walker was like the first recruit for the USFL. But he too dumb to realize that, oh yeah, but he destroyed the league that I went to play for because of his greed.
Yeah. And
everything that he touches turns to flaming hot Cheeto poo poo.
Let me get your phone real quick.
What you got to get my phone for? Go ahead.
Because I wanted to. Oh, you're going to have to turn it on.
Yeah. Put your phone over there. Okay.
I didn't want to get up. No, the reason why I wanted to do that, I wanted to look up something because I don't want to I don't want to say the wrong name.
Okay. Who you looking up?
Yes. So this was the story that I just, so speaking, because we talked about abortion, speaking of the abortion issue, because I didn't really finish that, it was about this woman, Susan Struck.
Mm-hmm.
And I just learned about her because when people were talking about one of my Facebook friends reposted it about Susan Struck, and that Ruth Bader Ginsburg actually was the attorney for the ACLU who defended, or what's the word I'm looking for? Susan Struck. So it says, as a new cultural war rages around abortion, scholars believe a 1970s case taken up by Ruth Bader Ginsburg shows the lengths the U.S. government has gone in the past to control women's sexuality. And the thing was that all these folks who are talking about being pro-life, anti-abortion, well, Ruth Bader Ginsburg actually took up this case. And in this case, the woman was in the military. And basically, she was given the option of either having abortion or you have to leave the military. And so it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg who took up her case. And she said she actually wished that this was the first anti-abortion case or case that went in front of the Supreme Court with regards to abortion. And so I find it interesting that there are people who are quote unquote pro-lifers, and they're saying how they don't know what Ruth Bader Ginsburg has done, and that she was so ultra conservative. I mean, ultra liberal. No, she wasn't liberal. She was on the side of women's rights.
Amen.
And so this woman basically was suing the military to say, you know, I wasn't even given the option of having a child. My option was you have to leave the military in order to, if you want to keep your child, or else, you know, they wouldn't allow it. So it's very interesting. So I brought that up because this whole, it was the Air Force, this whole pro-life argument, it's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of BS, because if you really were about life, then why is it that, you know, these same people are staunch supporters of the death penalty? And if it was about life, why are these same people staunchly and firmly against socialism, like they said in this lovely article, except for when it's, you know, socialism for corporations. If all these people care so much about life, then why, when we say Black Lives Matter, they tell us that all lives matter, and they want to shoot it down, or they want to justify why we're getting killed every day? But you are pro-life, remember? That means you're for no people being heinously murdered. I don't get it. I would like to get it.
You get it. It's about, so again,
okay, I went off. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, you get it. It's about control. It's about power. And power.
And not Tariq Ghost.
And not Tariq Ghost. or Keisha, or whatever. Who else? Tasha. Not them.
There's always Tasha.
Not them in power. But it's about power begets power. It's about greed begets greed. It's about money begets money, regardless of who is harmed in the process. But really the question that I have is, how are we going to live? You know, sister, how are we going to live? Like, what choices are we going to make each and every day to live? Because, see, let me tell you something. See, and I don't want to say too much because Internal Revenue Service, I don't know what they're going to do.
Listen, if you all are out there listening, it's a problem. It is a problem that everyday individuals who are actually falling on hard times, especially in times like this, cannot pay their tax debt. But you let somebody who claims to be a multimillionaire, worked so much because he's licensed out his name, get away with paying $750 in income taxes? That's not cool at all. And that shows this, you know, we talk about the system. It's so many systems out here that are just totally rigged. And because of this brown skin of mine, I sit up around here like, were people this smart? Like they were like, okay, we're going to destroy them from the inside out, up and down. We're going to destroy anybody who doesn't look like us. And by look like us, I'm talking about white men. Anybody else other than that. Like, we're going to destroy them inside out, up and down. And it's like, I mean, were y'all healthcare system? The school system? Again, if y'all care so much about pro-life, why won't you put no money in the school so children can have opportunity, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Healthcare, tax system, schools, like all of the systems are rigged. It's crazy to me. And I always think about what Star Jones said that time, basically, like with the college cheating scandal. These folks cheating on stuff we ain't even thought about yet.
Right. That's how Star Jones said they got schemes that we have not even dreamt of. They have schemes and scandals and plans.
And we out here.
We just trying to go to work,
trying to make a little
eat some
money.
good little food, trying to have a little something to set aside, trying to enjoy our days. And he paying $750 in taxes on some lies.
And then gonna come up with the platinum plan.
Oh, what y'all think about the platinum plan? Because the Black Economic Forum and where they was at, Jacksonville somewhere. Listen, what y'all think about the platinum plan? Let me see some of these comments.
Okay.
Yes. Where were they, girl?
Asking for myself.
The rich get richer. But a lot of that richness is smoke and mirrors. Look, people are saying he just found a way to make the system work for him. You can't fault him for figuring out ways to pay limited taxes. We need to learn to do the same. But you know what? I don't want to learn to do the same. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to learn to do the same. Because when I get on the highway, I want the roads to be paved. Okay, how about that?
Yes.
I don't want to learn to do the same. Like, yes, I understand following the law, using the laws and getting the maximum benefit under what the law allows. But this is beyond what the law allows, because I literally, I want to, like, when the sewage, like when I flush my toilet, I want it to work. That is what our tax dollars support. When I go to, my kids go to school, I want the school building not to be falling down, because that's what our tax dollars go to. The laptops that they were issued, the technology that's being used, books, all of these systems, I want them to work. That's what our tax dollars fund. Healthcare. Now, while I'm on an insurance plan, an employer-based insurance plan, because my husband is still at an employer, I know that part of that, the insurance, how it's working for those who don't have those insurance plans, it's because of federal income tax dollars that go to Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare is the health insurance plan for people 65 and older, or people who have a chronic illness of some sort. And then Medicaid is for women and children. It's for poor. It's for the poor women and children primarily. That's why they were started. And that's what those tax dollars go to. And so, no, I don't want this type of system. I think this is bullshit.
Well, I also don't want that type. I agree with the I want roads that are paved. I want schools.
You don't want airplanes crashing into each other because they ain't got no tower people. Those people are paid for by federal. There is a
talking about the FAA.
The FAA, yes, the FAA. Like, we don't want airplanes crashing into each other. We want people to be able to, like, control air traffic control. Hello, air traffic control.
Well, and here, I mean, in our secret location, a few years ago, many years ago, when I was back here after Hurricane Katrina, I remember, Katrina and Rita were really close together, if I recall. And and Rita impacted the people of Terrebonne Parish quite a bit. And we have this local channel called HTV. I'm not shouting you out for anything good, but I'm just saying. And we were listening to it, and I heard all these people, right, from down the bayou, if you know, for those who know, calling in, talking about how, I mean, we can afford to put a man on the moon, but we can't afford to take care of the levee system and all of this other stuff. And I called in and said that even then, like, you guys are like, you can't be serious. You're the same people who complain all the time, every single time somebody says that they're going to raise taxes, as if, who do you think takes care of the levee systems? Whether it's on a state level or a federal level, you have to pay taxes if you want certain things done in your community. So how do you expect to get those things? How do you expect to have a natural disaster response if you don't pay taxes? So I too don't necessarily want a system where I'm sure we could all hire somebody to find a way to beat the system. And, to Kanisha's point, I just wanted to say, he's not smart enough to figure this out. He's just paid other people on his behalf to figure this out. But again, why would you want a president who cheats the very system that is supposed to be supporting all of these American projects and putting Americans to work? Mm-hmm. Why would you want a president that does that? Every time I pass on the highways, some of y'all live in places like Florida, Dallas. It's always a project going on. The roads ain't never fixed. No. In Baton Rouge, that I-10 was getting expanded on for like 30 years.
For 30 years, and I was about to cuss about it. And it still ain't. It's like, okay, y'all started this project, and did y'all not know how these population shifts was gonna occur?
No, they didn't. And so all of these things happen. Like you had all these projects that people have been working on for decades. Well, how you think those people got their paychecks? But then they're gonna turn around and want to elect somebody who don't feel, and then. Yeah,
because and here's the thing. Let me just say this for the record. Jeff Bezos in the same category for me. Sure. Tim Cook, and so not them personally, because I don't know their personal income tax situation, but their personal income tax situation is more than $750. Yeah. I know that they pay you more than $750. Now, what they've done from their business tax perspective, that is problematic.
But I don't even listen, Warren Buffett has even said when it came to his secretary, she pays more in taxes than he proportionally, and the system is broken. So even if you have millions, billions of dollars, and you acknowledge that the system is broken, but because of the laws, you can circumvent them, that's fine. This is not circumventing the laws, guys. This is he didn't pay anything for 10 out of 15 years. He paid $750 for 2 years since he's been the president. Since you've been the president, we know that you have there is a salary associated with the presidency of the United States. So we know at very least you've gotten paid that.
Well, he said he didn't take his salary. So he didn't need to take his salary, because that's the point.
He's diverting the money to in other ways.
He didn't take the salary because he's having all of these federal agencies use his properties. Right. So his businesses is the money going to take the bottom line of his business.
Even when you're supposed to.
And if you're a federal employee and you try to do that, if you're a federal employee and you have a multi-level marketing business and you try to sell somebody something in your business, you can lose your job.
Even if you're not a federal employee. Like, how many times have you been like, or at least my job is like, you can't accept gifts from clients over a certain amount of money, or else it's seen it could be a conflict of interest. So how is all of that not a conflict of interest? How is it that your children, who clearly have done, those sons especially, have done nothing with their lives, but they're still running your businesses, which you were supposed to separate yourself from, and I'm confused, guys. I'm confused. And then this guy is going to tell me about a platinum plan. I have to talk about this platinum plan for just a second, because I read on one of my friends' page that a part of the platinum plan. Now, this is, first of all, let me just start. I have a problem with it being called the platinum plan. if that's not patronizing to Black people, I don't know what is. Like, I feel like you're suggesting that, I mean, like, that's the limit of how much you know about Black people. Like, oh, let's call it the platinum plan. You know, they like platinum. Like, really? But then a part of it is saying how the KKK and Antifa are going to be listed as terrorist groups, and that lynching is going to be considered a hate crime. Ain't that what you're supposed to do anyway? Shouldn't lynching already be considered a hate crime? No, but Rand Paul, when Kamala Harris and Cory Booker earlier this year proposed an anti-lynching bill, Rand Paul was proud to oppose it.
Yeah, not just Rand Paul,
but he was the one that was visibly opposing it, and was the sort of the poster child, because I believe his vote was the one that killed the bill.
Yeah.
So how are you? Lynching should already be a hate crime. Here we go. The sponsor in 2019, Scott co-sponsored legislation to make lynching a hate crime alongside none other than California Democratic Senator Kamala Harris, who is now the Democratic vice presidential nominee. The legislation passed in the Senate, but was never passed by the House. And that was with Tim Scott, the Black Republican. So I'm sorry to call him that, but he's the Black. They kind of put him on the mantle of being the Black Republican. Oh yeah, and then the whole Juneteenth. He's gonna make Juneteenth a holiday. Dude, you just discovered Juneteenth. We knew about it, and so we're supposed to take that.
He said he put Juneteenth on the map, girl.
I know that's what he said, but he did not. And I don't know why the Ministry of Black People that when he had Omarosa in there, why she didn't tell him that. I don't know why. What is the man name? Ben, the magical hand Carson, didn't tell him that that Juneteenth was already a thing, sir. But I just say all that because it's like all elements of that plan feel very patronizing to me, and yet
we dropped the link to the article so y'all can read about what's in the platinum plan. But I'm gonna tell y'all what
that's not even all of it.
And let me tell y'all what I know for sure. If you don't know what fool's gold is, then I can't help you.
All I know is that he paid $750 in income taxes, and
that can't buy you no platinum.
It cannot. And let's go back to this. You want to put this lady, Amy, whatever her name is, from Metairie, Louisiana, on the bench in order to get this case against Obamacare. You know, all the red states and got together saying, hey, we're gonna sue because Obamacare
So let's stop right there with the Affordable Care Act. Let's run some of this down. I have to run some of this down and what's on the line here. So we're gonna just do a little ACA talk real fast. So the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. There is a case right now that is before the Supreme Court to kind of fully do away with it. They already passed the law and got it through where they made it no longer a tax mandate, right? So that's why so many people who were forced to opt into a healthcare plan and have a plan are no longer in plans, right? So the amount of people who are insured now has dropped significantly once they pass that under this administration. And so now there's one more lawsuit that is before the Supreme Court that they are going to try to finally fully take away Affordable Care. Now, the Affordable Care Act, if you have a pre-existing condition, it's covered under the Affordable Care Act, which means if you were born with a genetic disorder, if you are a woman who is pregnant, if you have any chronic illness, asthma, heart disease, lupus, let's see, any other chronic illness that's not as scary as lupus. Like I said, any chronic illness, you got a pre-existing condition. If you're overweight or obese, that could be considered a pre-existing condition. All these people who done had COVID, and then it finds out, well, you have lung scarring, that could be a pre-existing condition. That will no longer be covered because they have no alternative plan here.
That's where I was going.
So let me finish with this.
Yes.
The other thing, if you have children who are in college and they have been able to stay on their parents' plan up until the age of 26, that's because of the Affordable Care Act. When you have gone to your doctor over the past several years for your wellness visits, your women who go for their well checks and get their PAPs and their mammograms, all your wellness screenings, you paid zero copay because your insurance had to cover basic care. All insurances were required to cover basic needs under the Affordable Care Act. That goes away. And there is no other plan.
Right, because again, we've been waiting, as Jake Tapper so eloquently stated, for 2 weeks, we've been waiting for this plan since last summer. Like every time Donald John is asked about, well, what are you replacing it with? It's in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. And then when he talked to George Stephanopoulos, it was like, it's all on my page. It's there. It's there. No, you're the president of the United States, sadly. Don't tell us that it's all there somewhere magically on you. I don't want to go to your page because, you know, the second I go to your page, then it's going to be some cookies on my doggone computer and then I'm going to continue to get ads and stuff like that. I don't want that. If you have a plan for our health care, then tell us what it is, because you've spent quite a lot of time telling us what's all wrong with the Affordable Care Act, but you have yet to tell me, well, then what is your substitute for it?
There is no substitute for it. There is no plan. And, you know, when they got rid of the requirement, how they got it passed under Commerce, that's how they got it passed, was to make it a tax requirement that if you couldn't prove that you had insurance, you were going to be taxed.
Right.
Once they got rid of that, that's when we just been on a slippery slope downward. But again, these are people who they don't pay taxes anyway, so that is not affecting them, you know, because they already have coverage. They have good health employer-based coverage.
You're talking about our congressmen.
I'm talking about your congressmen, your senators, and the current White House resident.
Yeah, and we've got to talk about that too. We've got to talk about term limits, guys. Like these people are old. Everybody's old. And I'm not an ageist. I'm just saying, like, at some point, we need some fresh perspective, some new ideas. We cannot continue to have the same people making all the decisions, you know.
Well, I'm going to say what I want to say about term limits.
Okay, please do.
Vote them out. Like, I'm sorry, Kentucky and South Carolina, why y'all keep voting for Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham? I mean, I'm sorry, California, why do you keep voting for Nancy Pelosi and even Auntie Maxine? I love you, Auntie Maxine, but you 80 now, boo. Go sit down.
Well, I'm
but
not
again,
saying that about her.
Go home, girl. Go home is what I'm saying. I love you. We need you to have groomed your successor, had them run and had them in office. Pass the torch here.
I mean, this is a remote.
It's a remote control, but it's pass it.
It's passed.
Baton. Whatever. Pass it on. And that is the issue. Power begets power. And that's where we are right now, because no one wants to cede power. And these folks are in their 80s. Look up there.
Not even the folks I want to see power. Here's the other thing. And this is not a knock on Mr. Biden. But Biden apparently paid over $3+ million in his income taxes. So therefore, I'm like, you know how much money you got to make in order to pay $3 million in taxes?
And income taxes.
So I'm just saying that it seems like it's a pretty cush job after a while. It must pay decently. I don't know, but yeah, Mitch McConnell,
78 years of age. So again, I'm not an ageist either, but we need term limits. And the best way to get term limits is just to vote them out, because they are never going to, unless some younger people come in and put forth a bill that both houses will pass, they're not going to vote for a bill for term limits, but they should, because the president has term limits. You know, okay, let's see what we got here.
They should, just because they should be tired. I can be tired. I'm ready to retire every day I can.
If he has a plan, let's send to Congress. Let's make it law, honey. Child, listen. Okay, that's like, Chris for Congress. Go, girl. Whoop, whoop. I don't know. That'd be hard pressed in Arizona, child. Listen, there should be term and age limits. All the limits, right?
Right. I can't go play in the WNBA. I mean, I can try.
Thank you for saying I'm hilarious.
I can try, but it might not work out too well for my knees. You know.
I want to see Power and Method Man had to do it. I'm not messing with you. But yes, we need these limits. And again, I'm not saying, because hey, as I mature, I love talking to my seasoned alumni. I love talking to seasoned people of, all stripes of life in business and what have you. They give you some great advice. They give you some wise counsel. It is great to even be a seasoned or senior person to young people and mentor, what have you. So there's still a lot to offer. Yeah. So not saying that, but really, at some point, people complain every day about politics and politicians, but they carry their asses to the polling place and vote for the same damn people. Bill Cassidy and what's that other fool from Louisiana? Oh, Kennedy.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know which ones are which. Because where's Scalia? Cassidy
is that's they the senators. Scalia's here too, girl.
Yeah, I don't know which ones are the senators or which.
DeSantis. Oh.
Well, he's not even that
Rick
old.
Scott. Mark.
See, and that's the other thing. Marco Rubio isn't that old.
Marco Rubio ain't that old,
but he needs term limit, because
term him.
Yeah.
Yes, but 80. I mean, I thought the goal was always to especially,
This is what I'm trying to say, guys, ladies and gentlemen.
We fail in the plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. The ordinary folks will suffer while the rich can continue to self-pay.
And that's what I'm saying. This job, this Congress situation is clearly pretty lucrative. I mean, you get really good health insurance. Clearly, you get to pretty much stay around. I mean,
they did have some young blood come in over the last two terms.
They did. But I mean, it just seems like it's a pretty good setup if you think about it. I mean,
it's a great setup. You get all the insider information so that you can make trades.
You can sell your stock and it's just a coincidence. Like you got the COVID report.
What's that woman who owns the basketball team in Georgia who got the COVID report and sold her data?
Yeah, I don't know about
not selling the data. No, she sold her stocks.
Okay, somebody.
What's her name?
I don't know.
She owns the WNBA team. Y'all look her up. Let's see. Senator.
All I know, it was like 3 of them that we were aware of. And they got
Senator Loeffler. That's her name. Kelly Loeffler. She's an incumbent.
Okay. Yes. Got the report, sold her little stocks. It was like, yep.
And she was appointed by Brian Kemp.
Okay. And then in Arizona, this Martha McSally chick. Like, you lost and still won. How does that happen?
She lost to Kristen Sinema.
Yes.
And then John McCain
passed away. Then they appointed another fella. And then at the end of he obviously it wasn't a cush job for him, but his little stint, he was like, yeah, I don't need to run again. And so then Ducey appoints McSally to take that fella's place. And it's like, but she lost. He should have appointed somebody completely. And so now she's up against Mark Kelly. Y'all know. And then Mark Kelly, who, for the most part, plays, he's a centrist, right?
I mean, the dude is, you know why
he's a Navy SEAL and a NASA astronaut.
He lived outer space for a year.
Yeah.
Mark Kelly should win just on GP because he had the intestinal fortitude to live in outer space. And then here's the thing, y'all, because he's a twin. So part of the whole thing was like they wanted to see what the differences in twins' bodies. So that's him living in space for a year and then his brother not being in space for a year. What's going to be the impact? Like he has put himself up for all kinds of research for our benefit.
And his wife is Gabby Gifford.
And his wife is Gabby Gifford. Shot in the face. Yeah, if you in Arizona and you are within earshot of my voice and you do not vote for Mark Kelly, just on those things alone tells you something about his character.
Right. And then his commercial, which is always hilarious. Every time I hear it, it's like, yeah, my dad didn't think I was going to go to college. It's like, you became a Navy SEAL and a NASA astronaut, and your daddy didn't even think you were going to college.
Well, I guess he went to the military, and then the military paid for his college.
But the way it is like, yeah, my dad didn't
think I was that smart and that I was gonna make it.
I was like,
oh, I didn't see.
Wow.
But that's what we've been talking about. These boys, they don't give you signs, and then they become damn astronauts and go live at the International Space Station for a year. Child, if you can do that,
you deserve to go to college.
You deserve to be heck, you deserve to be president. Can you just take this mofo out?
And then they got the audacity to talk about his connection to China. People, if you shop at Walmart, we're all connected to China. if you
Dollar General,
if you have a business,
Dollar Tree,
and you buy your stuff from
Amazon,
Alibaba
directly
and repackage it and resell it, that China.
You connected to China. If your ass been on TikTok, which a whole bunch of y'all have been
just out there just
remixing the dance moves, you connected with China and they have all your information. And if you worried about China information
WhatsApp,
and you ain't worried about Google having your information,
WhatsApp. We're all connected to China. I'm like, what is this whole campaign against China just because the coronavirus started there?
I mean, no, the issues with China is there's some real issues.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, watch history.
No doubt. But if we're gonna have issues,
but if we're gonna have an honest conversation,
stop. Can we then bring manufacturing back to the United States for real, for true, and stop playing that game? Oh, but we owe China like trillions of dollars.
But China, it ain't even that we owe China trillions, because here's the thing. If y'all want to really know the rub, y'all need to go start looking at some of these real estate in Florida, in Arizona, Detroit, and in New York, and Detroit. And if you don't think that it is all owned by Chinese conglomerates, you're sadly mistaken. Just FYI, it's all connected.
Follow the money.
This is a blank comment, Lena Morris. This is a blank comment. What was this supposed to say?
She's like, so what about China? For real.
Yeah.
Follow the money, guys. Listen, end of this day, if you learn nothing else, what you learned is that,
girl, they tired of spying on me too, honey.
If you learned nothing else from this conversation, please know that Donald Trump paid $750 in income taxes. And I think that tells us a lot about the society that we live in. And I just want to know, did he write a check and send it through the mail or not? Because he
probably just did direct pay online. Somebody did that for him.
I hope they dropped it in the mailbox.
I don't know. I don't know.
I am still confused also on how the system is rigged. If he does, like, he literally now it's, if I don't win.
He didn't say if he don't win.
No, he said, what did he say?
Yeah, yes, he said if we don't win, something's wrong with the ballots, because it's something funny with the ballots, but I thought we voted on ballots, but I don't know. So,
but I thought he said also, what was it? It was, if I don't win, it's because they cheated. That's what he was basically saying. If I don't win, it's because they cheated. But it's like,
because it's something funny with the ballots.
And I'm like, what are we supposed to pull straws or something? Like, what else are we supposed to do? I don't know. So we're not supposed to vote by mail. He doesn't want us to stand in the lines, apparently. He just doesn't want us to use a ballot at all, which is, I don't know how else we're supposed to complete this process. So anyway.
Well, folks, it has been real. It's been fun, and it has been real fun. Hopefully you learned something. You picked something up. You found a link in an article that you will go and you will read more about these subjects and start your own conversations like we're having here on Hey Sister. So please like, follow, and share. If you're not following us on YouTube, I need you to go to YouTube
subscribe to the channel.
Go to YouTube right now and subscribe to our channel. We need to pick up our YouTube subscriptions because we're trying to grow. Let me get the link for you all because I need y'all to subscribe to this channel. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to drop it in.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. And, of course, continue to follow us on Facebook. Tell a friend. Tell a family member. If you found any part of what we're saying worthwhile or just funny or none of the above, but you just want to have some dialogue and you want to talk about how do you pay only $750 in income taxes, like, share, like, follow, share, and let people know about this.
Let people know. And with that, we're going to sign off for this evening, and we'll be back on Next Sister for Hey. Next Sister, next Sunday.
I promise y'all, this is au naturel. We haven't even had a drink.
Ain't even had a drink.
So, next Sunday, Hey Sister.
Bye, everybody.